All right, we're recording. Welcome, everyone. My name is Brooke Ferguson. These are hot seat trainings. I have a special guest tonight. Her name is Mallory. Mallory, you come from all over, but I think you live in New York right now, correct?
I do. I live in New York City.
Awesome. Okay, well, why don't you just dive in and share a little bit about your backstory?
Sure. Thank you guys all so much for coming. This is my favorite part of what we do is getting together like this in small intimate groups and just talking and having that sense of community, especially at a time like this. So thank you guys for making the time to be here tonight. I'm excited to be here with you. My name is Mallory Bramlage. I am originally from a very small town in Ohio, in Northwest Ohio. I grew up in a town with no stoplight, so a very, very small town. I do live in New York City now. I'm currently quarantining in Texas at my parents' house. But my life is significantly different since I started Monat, very unintentionally, but it has changed a lot. That is for sure. So I'm 27 years old, just a single girl, no kids, went to school for a very long time, got my undergrad, got my master's degree, both in business. So business was a big passion of mine. And then I worked in corporate America. I did recruiting. And I really, really loved my job and I loved my life. And I didn't think anything needed to change, but sometimes God's got other plans.
Yes, true that. That is a big part of, I think, a lot of people's journey to money. You think you're going somewhere, and then boom, you just get hit with this, and you're so thankful you did. So my question is, how did you hear about money, and what made you say yes?
So I got my hair done, and I had a stylist who was a friend of mine. She was pretty fresh out of cosmetology school and she left bleach on my hair for too long. So we know how that goes. What I did was immediately after that, I contacted as many stylists and salon owners as I could and just said, hey, do you guys have any recommendations for a product that I could use? I'm just trying to keep my hair intact because a lot of the crown of my hair was falling out. It was very gummy. You guys know what it's like when you leave bleach on too long. So I was recommended a lot of different things, a lot of different oils, tried them, spent hundreds of dollars. None of it worked. It did a little bit, but I was really trying to save some seriously damaged hair. So my mom, who lived in Philadelphia at the time, and I was in Ohio, she was talking through this with me and said, there's something I really want you to try. I'm actually going to buy it for you and have it sent to your house. Just try it when you get it, and we'll talk a little bit more about it. So she sent me some product, some Monat product. I didn't try it. I put it in the closet because I don't know about you guys, but I don't like to listen to my mom. If my mom tells me to do something, I like to sometimes not do it. So she got a hold of me, I don't know when, and said, did you try that stuff? And I said, no, it's in the closet. And she's like, please get it out. Please try it. Let me know what you think. I really think it's going to help you. So I got it out. I tried it with one use, and the Rejuva beads specifically on my damage. It was so fundamentally different from anything else I had tried, and it helped my hair so much that I got on the computer and I did copious amounts of research on the business, on the products. Are these ingredients patent pending? What's going on? Because I'm a girl and I tried a lot of different things and I just wanted to know why this was so different. So being the business junkie that I am and the science junkie, I wanted to understand what this was. So what I did was I spent a day researching, and then I actually never became a customer. I signed up as a market partner immediately, but not because I thought I was going to build a business, because I knew that the market partner opportunity was the correct financial decision because it's a bigger discount. But I also knew that a lot of my friends and family would respect and like my judgment on a product like this, and they would want to try it as well. So if I said to my friends, hey, I'm using something that I love, they're going to want to try it. So I decided that market partner was the best option. And then what I did was I started researching a lot about ingredients in general, not just our ingredients, but what are people putting in shampoo? And I quickly learned that we don't have a governing body in the United States of America that governs cosmetics at all. So we don't have anybody monitoring, determining what's in products. And I was just getting on Facebook and I was just telling people about shampoo, cosmetics, ingredients, and why I loved my product so much, why my product was a solution to a lot of these issues that I was seeing, these holes that I was seeing in the cosmetic industry, and just my personal testimony, along with other testimonies from customers that were joining my organization. And that's kind of how I started my business. It was an accident. It was my mom introduced me to the product, and then me just deciding that the market partner opportunity was the smart move.
I love that because we have that in common. My mom actually signed me up, and I always joke, I'm like, I've never paid you back for my product pack because I was like, I am not doing this. And she was like, no, we have to. It's going to be so good. So that's so funny. All right. So besides the hair, where would you be now if you said no to joining Monate or trying the products?
Wow. You know, a lot of the things that I've gained with money are things that I didn't know I was missing from my life, which is really interesting. So I was working full time. I had my friends. I had my career. I thought I was doing what I should be doing. But I had never really been given a caveat or um, an avenue to be the leader that I knew I wanted to be. And I also had never been surrounded by so many individuals that also wanted a lot of the same things as me, that had the same mindset, were also just as driven, that really wanted to be better people in general. And so I kind of came into this business. I didn't know my upline. It was some random girl in Texas that my mom had on Facebook. I didn't know my upline. I didn't really talk to anybody in the business until I was, almost a year in. So I spent a lot of time just like building my business and doing this on the side. Ended up quitting my full-time career, but then my first Monations, it was in Washington, D.C. That's when I met, like, not my direct upline, but the upline above her and some of the other leaders on my team. And that's when I really started developing those relationships. So I didn't have that initially. And once I had it, once I felt that, it was something so incredible. And now I can't imagine my life without these people. But the community has been something that has completely transformed and changed my life. It's changed the way I think about friendships and relationships. It's changed my idea of who I want to surround myself with at all times. So if I hadn't joined Monate, I would be missing out on a lot of really, really key mentorships and relationships in my life. I'd be missing out on the time freedom that I have to travel and to do what I want when I want, to work on my terms. I would definitely be missing out on, obviously financially I'm in a better position than when I was working full time. But it's not about the money. The culture that we have here has made me such a better person. I would be missing out on so much of how I've developed as a human, I think is the best way I can just describe it in one sentence. I don't think I would be as developed as a human being if I didn't have this experience. I'm sure my life would still be fine. I'd have a decent life, but there's nothing that compares to this type of time freedom, financial freedom, and this type of culture that can really transform you as a person.
And that's something I hear. I love that so much. Every time we do one of these, the culture is what comes out. They're like, the money's great, the car, the free trips, but guys, the culture. And that's so awesome that is something that stands out so profound with so many people. It must be true. And I love, okay, this was like the thing that I always said that I wanted my life to be like, but it seriously defines you, Mallory. I said it in like the post about announcing that we were doing this. She is creating a life she doesn't need a vacation from. And that is so true with you. That is so true. And 27 years old, it's amazing. So amazing. All right. So number 4 is, what's your advice for someone searching for new market partners or more market partners? I get this a lot.
I like this question. This is a good question. A couple of things. The first and most obvious is, if you want to have more business partners in your organization, you have to have more genuine conversations. You just simply have to have more conversations because, guys, this is a numbers game. If you're not talking to anybody, nobody's joining you. An open mouth is an open business. So you have to have conversations. And the second piece of information that I would throw in is you need to ask more questions. As you're talking to people, if you are asking the correct questions about their life, about what they truly want, about how things are going for them, you're going to, in their answers, find the need. You're going to be able to figure out what you have to offer them that they're looking for. If you just start saying what you want to say, that doesn't necessarily mean that they need that. But if, you say to me, I really wish I was home more with my kids, I feel like I'm at work a lot, then what you're looking for is time freedom. Or if you're saying, I'm so behind on bills, you're looking for more income. Maybe it's free travel, maybe it's culture, community. It could be a lot of things. But if you ask more questions and talk to more people and you truly listen, you're asking good quality questions. Number one, it's very genuine and you care. And if you just have the mindset that you want to help the person in front of you in some way, whether it's with their hair or skin or with their life, income, time freedom, if you just go into conversations with your subconscious saying, how can I help this person in front of me? You're going to listen better, you're going to ask better questions, and you're going to be able to offer the opportunity to them in a way that makes sense, that they understand, wow, this could really fill a need in my life. So yeah, just know that you just have to talk to more people at the end of the day, and just be you and be genuine, and just go into it wanting to develop more relationships and more friendships with people and to help people. And it will always work in your favor.
Gosh, that's so good. And I tell my team this a lot, and I don't even know where I heard it from, Jim Rohn or one of them, but the only difference between you and top income earners is they've just talked to more people. And I love that so much. Great advice. All right, number 5 is, what's the best way to gain momentum as someone who feels stuck or lost in the business?
So usually if someone says to me, I feel very stuck, I ask them to look at the other areas of their life. Usually they are unhappy, unhealthy, or unfulfilled in some other area of your life. Guys, we have to keep balance. So, I just personally know if I'm not working out regularly, if I'm not eating healthy, I start to get into a funk and it affects every single area of my life. So when someone feels stuck, usually it's a mental block. It's something that just little small daily habit changes can really alter. So if someone feels stuck, the first thing I say is, you need to wake up in the morning. The first thing you do when you pop out of bed, think about 3 things that you're grateful for. And then you need to do 15 minutes minimum of personal development. So I don't care whether you're taking your morning pee or you are getting ready or you're making coffee, whatever you do in the morning, you can always have something that you're listening to or watching on your cell phone while you're doing it. Let that really soak in for about 15 minutes. And when you start your day like that, you're going to quickly find yourself out of a funk. But also, something as directors, a huge part of our job is to be professional cheerleaders. It's to keep energy up. It's to keep positivity up. It's to really just keep interactions going. So if you feel stuck, it's because you're lacking a bit of motivation, positivity. So bringing that personal development into your life. Perhaps another area of your life is bringing you down, maybe a relationship, maybe your health, whatever. I just encourage you to look at all the different areas of your life and see if maybe that is a reason. But just also understanding that if you wake up every day and you are just so positive and throwing great messages out in your chats and you're amping everybody up, you're talking about your wins, you're really getting everybody going, that is going to get you unstuck, because energy creates energy, breeds energy. All of that is just going to get everybody so excited and so happy. And that's a huge part of this. That's actually an enormous part of this, is just that momentum energy.
Yeah. And in the beginning, I was like, self-development, I don't need that. Like, No, that's when you need it most. So if that's you, if you're thinking, yeah, I'm not going to listen to that, trust me, Mallory is it's so right what she's saying. Self development can make or break your business, to be honest. It's all in your mindset, and that's where it starts. Um, Number 6, this is a fun question. What is your favorite Monate resource? We have so many. We have the quiz, we have the app, we have resource library, everything. What's your favorite? What do you use the most?
Wow, that's a really great question. Favorite resource? I do like our Market Partner Academy just because we are always changing and adding things. So as something becomes more relevant, like Instagram or just prospecting recruiting 101, we're constantly adding new trainings in there. There is just astounding statistics on the difference between a performance of a market partner who completes our Market Partner Academy and those that do not. I think of it just like anything else in life. You have to have a solid foundation for any relationship, for any venture, anything that you do. You have to really have a solid foundation. And I think that one of the reasons that I was able to be as successful as I was, especially early on, is because I did so much research. I kind of told you guys a little bit about how much I wanted and needed to know about these products in this business. So I was so confident. And the more confident you are in your knowledge of this business and these products, the more conversations you're going to find yourself having, because you know that no matter what this person in front of you asks you, you're going to have an answer because you just have done that much research. So that's why I think Market Partner Academy is so important, because you really need to give yourself a solid foundation. If you don't take yourself and your business seriously, you can't expect other people to. And knowledge is power. I truly, truly feel that way. So that confidence that you're going to have when you have the knowledge of what's going on here, it just shows through in every conversation that you have as well. So yeah, I'm going to go with Market Partner Academy on that one.
All right. Well, and I love that we can offer that for our new market partners. Like, of course, they're going to get training from us, from Zoom calls, from, Monate on Facebook, all of that. But just that they can tap into that resource on their own. I love that we can offer that. Okay, 7. I know you've earned a lot. So what trips have you earned that you can remember, because you've earned a lot of trips, since saying yes to the opportunity? Have you ever been to any of these places before, or did you ever think you'd go for free?
So I love to travel a lot. I decided when I came to this business that I was not going to let a single trip come up that I did not earn. So I made sure that I've earned every trip that I had the potential to even possibly earn since I came in. So be like Vegas, Nashville, Bahamas again, Cancun, Grand Cayman. Gosh, I don't know. I really haven't been around that long, just 2 years. So I think that's probably it.
That's more than a lot of people, most people.
Yeah, no, that's a lot of trips.
No, that's like amazing. And you've only been in 2 years. And that's such a good goal to have, to say,
6 or 7. 6 or 7 in 2 years that's amazing. A lot of trips.
Yeah, for free.
For free. Yeah. No, guys, traveling is expensive. And I know this because I do it a lot, but I don't have kids and I'm still single. And I just decided that that's one of the ways that I want to spend my income with money, is on experiences and traveling. It's something that I've done my entire life. My family traveled a lot from a very young age. We took a lot of trips. And so that was one of the biggest drivers for me quitting corporate America. It wasn't that I didn't love my job. It wasn't that I wasn't happy. It was that 2 weeks of vacation just wasn't enough for me. So the trips are a real driver. But to be honest with you, it's not even, for me, they could send us on a free trip to a cave in the middle of the desert, and I would want to go, because what happens on these trips with relationships and community is the most important thing. So I quickly realized that, like, yes, Monate literally never disappoints. The trips are extravagant. They treat us so well, but I would be happy anywhere with these people. They could send me anywhere. I'd be like, sure, we're going. I'm pumped. I'm earning it. Can't wait to see you guys. I never thought that I would be earning free travel like this. And I never thought that I would come into a company that introduced me to so many great people and then would make sure that I don't have to go very long without seeing them by giving us so many trips.
And you're able to meet so many people. Like, I mean, some of the closest relationships I have now in Monty outside of my organization, I met on trips. One of my favorites was Nashville, just because, I mean, they spoil us always, but just having our event at the Country Music Hall of Fame, like, what? Like, I never would have been there. But the cool thing about trips, you guys, is that everyone can earn these trips. They set them up so new market partners can even earn. And I love that about our company. It's not just, oh, you have to be a director to win these trips. But Mallory, why don't you mention a little about the other trips you've been able to take outside of Monty, but because you're working your business from your phone and from your computer?
Yes. So this is how it started. This is why I quit corporate America right here. My brother was doing an internship at a hedge fund in Tokyo, Japan a couple of summers ago. And I had to ask my boss for, it was like 8 days off, because with weekends, I somehow managed that it just needed to be 8 work days. And he came literally unglued on me. Unglued. And that was the first trip that I had taken in a while because of this position. And I was thankful to have the job. But that is when I knew, like, okay, although I like my job, I want to take my business to the next level, and I want to be able to just travel. So I've done most of Europe. I have done a lot of Southeast Asia. This year, I've done Costa Rica, Egypt, Grand Cayman with Monate. Gosh, where else have I been? I was in Canada for a while. I was in Nashville. I actually am never at home, is what I should actually just say. I have an apartment in New York City. I don't know much about what it's like to be there. But that's how I wanted it to be right now. I know that this isn't going to last forever. I know at some point I'll get married and have kids and settle down. And I just love history and traveling so much, and none of that would be possible. Number one, like, the time freedom's important, but you have to have enough income to have an apartment and have a place like that in New York City, but then to also have the income to do these big trips, because these aren't small trips that I'm doing right now that I'm checking off the list. They're really big ones. So it takes some income. And it's just really, really fun. There's nothing like popping on a Zoom call from like Africa. My team's like, what time is it? Where are you at? They literally don't ever know where I'm at. It's like, where in the world is Mallory? And that's obviously not right now. I'm about dying over this, but it's just, it's honestly mind-blowing. It's mind-blowing that we can do this from anywhere.
Yeah, and it's so beautiful, this industry, because not everyone is able to do that. Some people have families. I mean, I'm like you. I'm single to where I don't have kids. I can travel, I can go, and I just want to enjoy that right now. Not everyone is that way, but if you're on the call and that is not speaking your love language, you're like, no, I have kids, I can't do that. But maybe you know of somebody that is looking for this, that you can point them to this video, because it's amazing that this industry works for anyone. All right, number 8 is one of my favorite questions because it's always different, and I love to hear people's concoctions. So what are your favorite Monate products?
So right now, what I'm really obsessing over is these two. I have them right here for demonstration purposes. The Essence and the C Radiance. I've always really struggled with my skin. I've always had a lot of acne. And so our Rewind is actually pretty oil-based. And so I actually use the C Radiance day and night. It's great for acne. This combo has just been unbelievable for me. But another tip that I want to share that is super great, as you guys know, there's a big difference between hydration and moisture in your hair, and we want to combine both. So what I love to do after the shower, I use detangler first, and then I spray in the double action hydrating serum. So this double action hydrating serum from our advanced hydrating line, this is hyaluronic acid. This is hydration. So when I spray this on my hair and then afterwards put our leave-in conditioner on top, it's almost like this hydrates, preps, and then the leave-in like locks in with moisture. And the combination between the hydration and the moisture from those two products does something unbelievable for my hair. So highly recommend trying that if you haven't, on your wet hair after the shower. the serum and then the leave-in conditioner on top. That combo is amazing. But I just have to give it up to the skincare right now because I've tried a lot of skincare as well, and I have always had problematic skin. And I was so skeptical when we launched this skincare because I knew if it wasn't the best I'd ever used, I could not promote it to my customer base. And it's the best I've ever used. So I'm very pumped about it.
Yeah, I remember when they announced that, I was like, okay, so we just like disrupt the hair care market, and now we're like tapping into the skincare. We're going to disrupt all these other companies that my friends work for. But like, I'm not even ashamed because the skincare is amazing. I'm with you. Like, I've used even top like high-end brands, expensive brands, and I love the company and the products are great, but not even compared to ours, not the results. Okay, so we're almost about to wrap this up. We do have a few questions. If you guys have any other questions that come to mind, just go ahead and drop it in the chat. We're going to have a Q&A at the end. But number 9 is, I know everything about this company is insanely amazing. We've talked about that. But what is one thing that has absolutely set us apart from anyone else?
I just have to say it again. It's definitely culture. And as a woman who worked in corporate America, who kind of subjected myself to like, hey, I'm probably going to spend my life working for men in corporate America. The fact that I have that experience, and I live in New York, and I have a lot of friends in New York that, it's just tricky. It's hard. Like I said, especially as a woman in business, it's very, very hard to have a voice and to break through. And so this opportunity is equal playing field for anybody. It doesn't matter if you are male or female. It doesn't matter your age, demographic, education level. We don't discriminate here. Everybody's got the same opportunity to win and succeed. And so our culture is very, very different, but also the opportunity to kind of own your own business for such a small amount and have this type of compensation. We have the best compensation plan in the industry, the best culture in the industry. So I think the culture, the empowering culture has been really, really great for me. It's been refreshing. I don't work for a boss that tells me when I can eat lunch and when I can do anything. And that really sets us apart. Our culture, our compensation plan, and our mission, our gratitude program. I'm a gratitude ambassador with the company as well. And I can't even describe the evolution of gratitude within our organization, even since I've been an ambassador, how much it's changed and taken over everything that we do. But that also just plays into our culture. It's who we are as people. It's who we are as a company. And at the end of the day, when you are surrounded by people that are this good, you're not going to fail.
I love that. Okay, and lastly, this has been so great, by the way. Lastly, if you could give us a piece of advice to carry us into this crazy, very, very crazy year, what would that be?
I would just urge you guys to jump out of yourself for a second and think about someone else looking in on your life, looking at your social media accounts, looking at the way you act, the way you speak, and ask yourself, would you want to emulate you? Are you somebody that you would look up to if you weren't you? And if there are areas of your life that you could clean up, change, fix for the betterment of you as a human, that's what I would urge you to do, because that's going to elevate everything about your life, including your business. I always, rather than looking on the surface at what needs fixed and changed, I always try to look at the root of everything. And I just really think that the root of your success in this business has a lot to do with who you are as a person, especially the longevity of your success in this business. Someone can succeed quickly in the short term, but you will crash and fail if your heart's not in it, if you aren't doing the right things, if you aren't genuine. So I would just encourage you to really look at who you are as a person from other people's perspective. You can't, put some Facebook post out there that's inappropriate or trash talking somebody and then turn around and try to sell shampoo and expect people to take you and your judgment seriously. You just can't. Social media is a huge part of our businesses, and it's important what you put out there and how you can add value and do good and be good. in all areas of your life. So yeah, that would be my advice, especially during quarantine. Work on some personal development in ways that you can really develop as a human.
I love that so much. I read something the other day that said if you are not coming out of this quarantine a better person with like a new hobby, a learned trait, something, then you didn't lack of time. You lacked discipline. I mean, because we have the time right now. I mean, crazy. You were so full of good information. I was reading through the chat and everybody's like, yes, yes, yes. I love it. You need a podcast. I'm telling you. Listen to it because you're just like, ooh, that's a golden nugget. I like that.
Me not having a podcast is not lack of time. It's lack of discipline.
Well, I tell
you said
2020, you get a podcast.
All right, now I'm committed to it.
All right.
Thank you guys so much.
She has a question for you. She said, what are your favorite personal development books or podcasts? Speaking of podcasts.
So when we were in the Bahamas for the director's retreat last year, we had John Addison speak, and John Addison is the former CEO of Primerica, which is an insurance company. And he's just like this old Georgia boy with this Southern drawl. And he was mesmerizing to me. I really loved who he was as a person and his message and how simple it was. So John Addison is somebody I like to read, I like to listen to, and I also enjoy his accent. As directors, we do a lot with John Maxwell. Tony Robbins has always been a really, really big one for me. There have been some important turns and twists in my life where sometimes somebody really like latches on in these ways and just does something to me. And Tony Robbins was one of those people for me. I'm kind of a nerd, so I listen to like podcasts that are like things you didn't learn in history class and just things like that. But it's always about expanding your brain, expanding your knowledge. As far as personal development, sometimes all it takes is for me to even just listen to a leader in our organization, a video. Sometimes it's not so much what they say, but what they say, what that sparks within you. I would go on podcast and look at, like, we all know like the Rachel Hollis and things like that. Look at some of them that are like less advertised that are similar. I like to find the hidden gems. That's what I would do. I'm also reading a really great book right now, but it's not so much leadership based. I really like leadership books. I think that they're super, super helpful. And John Addison's probably one of my favorites, I think.
Awesome. I'm going to have to look him up. I wrote his name down. I've enjoyed this thoroughly. Does anyone have any questions? If so, you can unmute yourself or put it in the chat. But one thing that I'm just going to talk while they might have a chance to type. But one thing that I have done is I've read, and I recommend for my team to read the 4 Color Personalities book of MLM, because that changed the way that I worked my business. I looked at prospecting a whole new way. Not everyone wants to be talked to the way I do. I mean, I'm a yellow, so I like to hear the help, help, help. And then I would come across the blue that just wants to, if you've read the book, I don't know if you've read the book, The Colors, you need to check that out. But I would come across the blue, and then they would want to hear about all the trips and the culture and the community and the fun stuff. And so the 4 Color Personalities of MLM, short book, it's like $5 on iTunes. Read that, or audio. That's what I did.
And a disclaimer for this is don't get too wrapped up in all of that and then never actually execute or do anything.
True.
There's such a balance. And that's why I always urge just like at least 15 minutes, but don't spend your whole day just listening to things and then say, okay, I worked and go to bed. You didn't do any income producing activity. So it's such a balance between learning and applying and not just learning.
And have you caught yourself since listening to self-development, like some of the stuff you like start saying and you're like, whoa, that sounded good. Like I've done that and I'm like,
That's the thing, is like listening to it over and over again is, people might find that boring, but that repetition, it gets into your subconscious. It's like showering. You have to do it every day. You know, motivation doesn't just last. We don't just jump out of bed wanting to do a hour cardio workout and then work our business for 10 hours. You know, we don't just, you know, even the ones that work really hard and are successful, like we're not just dying to just go do all of these things all the time. No, but you just have to be stronger than your emotions.
So true. Well, Mallory, thank you so much.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you. You're amazing. I cannot wait to upload this to YouTube so everyone can just reap the benefits from it. You're a gem, and I look forward to seeing you in the $1 Million Club very, 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 very soon.
Thank you guys so much for everything tonight. Thank you for having me. Hope you guys have a great night.
You're so welcome. Good night, everyone.
Bye, guys.